I'm just here to give my small little commentary on Keke from Love and Marriage, Huntsville. I am in Alabama, and I do appreciate that the fact that Carlos King has placed a platform here for people in Alabama to be noticed. Um, it's sad to see someone on Love and Marriage Huntsville, pass away. You know, I see all the chaos. I see all the chaos between the two different families. You gotta understand that she has a mom and she has a dad, and they're still living. And they're two different sides of a family. And I feel like the mom has the right to speak, and I feel like the dad has the right to speak. And also, most of all, the person that had to deal with her most in her life is her husband. Allegedly, I don't know. We don't know what place they were in before she passed away, but I'm just gonna say that he should have been the one speaking out, if any, against anything, because he was on the show too. But I don't understand when people pass away, people make this so much worse than it is. My heart goes out to Keke for the simple fact that we have a person like Keke in every family. We have a person like Keke that's battling with something. You mental, whether it's mental health or addictions or whatever it may be. But I think a lot of this has been carried away and blamed and targeted to the wrong people. Um, I'm just gonna speak my mind on this. For this, I don't really care about being size, but I definitely love me some Tisha, and I wanted them to mend their relationship. I wanted them, they look so much alike. You could tell that they're family. It's same with Ms.Wanda. Wanted them all to mend their relationship, and none of us know if they did that. Seriously, I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. Because a lot of times, people can tell these content creators anything, and they'll just run with it. And, you got to know the truth for yourself, because for one, if you have people like that in your family, it's not easy. So I'm speaking more about the Love and Marriage Huntsville. Rest in peace to Keke Jabbar. She passed away so peacefully. First they were saying one thing, and then they end up saying she passed away in her car. Her husband came out into the garage and seen that, he was trying to see if she was all right, but she was not all right. And she was passed away. She was unalive. Um, if you want further information, you may look it up. You may go to some of these content creators that are speaking so highly about it. But what I don't understand is I seen today recently the uncle is speaking about who can and cannot come to the funeral. and he put Tisha, Marcel, and Wanda. And I'm just saying to myself, was her dad not her dad or something? Like, why does someone has can step up and say, as an uncle, besides the mother, besides the husband, and say that they can't come to the funeral? But I don't know. I feel like that they got to go to the funeral. Because to be honest, I feel like the uncle was out for police publicity himself. That's just how I feel. Because he really didn't have to come back. He didn't have to make no statement. He didn't have to make no statement online. Because really, it's not the people like Tisha and Marceau and Miss Wanda's fault. Because you got to remember, Miss Wanda and her family had a very big loss even before this happened. Like, for them not to feel any type of pain, for they already lost. Miss Wanda already lost her sister. Tisha already lost her auntie. So for and Keke's dad already lost her sister. So obviously, Keke could have known about that. You know what I'm saying? So for them to show no remorse, and for the uncle to come on and say, well, you didn't want nothing, no one, it's not about them from the show. Guy, I want them to understand that she was on a show, a very famous show. So why would you not think that her name would not be brought up on the internet? And furthermore, if you're speaking about the people on the show, what about the people that didn't even speak about her? That's coming out about her now. Like, come on now. Like, I see so many. She was only spoke on the internet, far as like YouTube and Love and Marriage Huntsville. She was not spoken on everywhere, but now she's spoken on everywhere since she has passed away. I don't get people. Like, when she came onto the show, um, I see that Tisha did not want her to come onto the show because personal reasons. And she said that in the last reunion that she did not want her to come on to the show. So she went behind Tisha's back and came on the show with Mel, one of the other people on the show. And what I'm not getting, how does Tisha and her family, whom help her, also, this is what they're missing out on. Why would you say that, they can't come because they helped? They help her too. I think a lot of people are missing the point. They're still family, regardless of what. She has two sides of a family, not just the moms, but the dads too. And the dad have every right to say that his sister can come out and allow someone to say, okay, she has passed away, you know, and I just want everyone to know, because it's going to come out anyway. So I don't even understand why anyone is surprised and why any of the family is surprised. That's what I don't get. It's a lot of, I never ever bashed Keke. Although I was sitting up there watching Love and Marriage Huntsville, wondering why it seems like she was going against her cousin. From the perspective of Mel, like, Mel just brought her in to go against her cousin. That's what it seemed like to me. But at the same time, It's just like, it's a show. You know what I'm saying? So it's a show, but you're like, I'm just gonna take it as a show. I can't take it to heart because this is a show. So what do you mean don't know? What do you mean about what? I'm speaking on what I'm talking about. You understand? So what I'm talking about is Keke from Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm just not understanding why they did not want Tisha and her mother and her family. Because regardless of what, you're still family. Nobody tried to do anything to Keke. Nobody tried to damage Keke. All they was trying to do is state facts. So what I don't get, I don't get this. This happen in a lot of families. It don't just happen in that family. And I've heard that they had a big family, but it don't just happen in that family. It's a lot of people that when it's time for a funeral, they like, I don't want this person to come, because I had to even tell my mother at once upon a time that she couldn't come to a certain funeral because they didn't want her there with the negativity or whatever. And that did not feel good because it was like her twin sister. That was her twin sister funeral that was going on. And another funeral that we had as a family, it was my cousin's child. To think that you would want to come together in these moments and push all issues aside. You should push all issues aside. If you got something to handle it afterwards. Now, I do know, and I can tell, that it took a toll on Keke on Love and Marriage Huntsville when she was on there. Especially that moment when Mel, it just seemed like she just dismissed her off of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I don't know if that was the reason. But I'm not looking at it so realistic. Like everyone is looking at it, like they're taking all that to heart when it's a show and they got a job that needs to be done. But at the same time, if they knew about her Keke's issues on Love and Marriage Huntsville, then they need to own up to a lot of responsibility and stop trying to blame it on Tisha, Marceau, and Ms.Wanda. Because only reason why they said anything was because things were being said to them. That's it. Like, use your common sense. It don't take a rocket scientist to see that, they were just saying things because things were being said about them and they was trying to clear it up. But yeah, you have a lot of people out here like, well, I agree with the family. They're grieving, but y'all thinking about one family, which is Keke's mother's side. You're not thinking about Keke's father's side, which is Ms.Wanda and Tisha and all them. Now, I love me some Tisha because she had fought hard not to say and tried to get along with her and knew the ropes of how that show was. But it seemed like she was so amped up to make sure she get to where she was supposed to be getting, because I feel like they just put her on that show to try to damage. It seems like anybody Mel put on that show came against Tisha and her marriage. Like Mel wanted everything to be off of her and her marriage and her divorce and what she was going through, and they put it on Tisha. And you know what? Let's be honest. Let's be clear. I don't understand what any of that have to do with this young lady passing away. Because she still is younger than me. That's why I say young lady. Passing away? How did the show come in between the cousin, the other side, the daddy side, coming to the funeral? I don't get it. And if you're going to point anything at the show, then that's Carlos King. That's not Tisha. That's not any of those people on that cast. That is Carlos King. That's what's crazy to me. I don't understand this for the life of me, but at the same time I do think, I feel like that they still were able to go. And not one time Tisha, Marcel, or Ms.Wanda came online and said that it was about us. No, when it was put out, everyone was talking and saying, rest in peace, Keke, this is so sad. When so many people, let's be clear, talk down on her. And I can honestly say that I didn't. Because you don't do that. Because that's, the addiction was her real life. That was her real life, and she didn't know how to handle it. And I feel like Tisha did not want to bring her on the show because of that. But Mel snuck around and got her on the show. She got her on the show to be able to, like she said when she last spoke to Keke, like Mel said when she last spoke to Keke, I thought that you was going to come on this show and tell your story. But she was in so many incidents where that ain't the only thing. It seemed like the motive was to go after Tisha and her marriage. Y'all let this lady, if she married, this is what I don't get about people. Marriage is not for the weak. If you want to sit up there and say, my husband doing this, you got to bring proof, baby. You got to bring proof. You can't just sit up there and say he doing this out of spite because your marriage ain't working out. And now it's all on TV and everybody knows about it. And you feel embarrassed. And now you want me to feel embarrassed with no proof. Now, let's be clear. Rest our soul. Keke came on there with a motive. No lie. She came on there with a motive. Just as well as Mel brought her on there with a motive. Allegedly. But these people got to realize, you don't come in and destroy people's marriage. If they ain't been through it and they ain't seen their husband cheating, why would you want to put it out there that they is? This show is very, very toxic, you guys. This show is very, very toxic. Love and Marriage Huntsville is very, very toxic. And I wouldn't say, it's like Carlos King has a part to play in it. But, I feel like that part is not allowing almost castmates to sit up there and pick and choose who they want to bring in. He needs to examine these people wholeheartedly before he brings them in. Wholeheartedly. Not, I'm talking about examining them, their mental health, their everything. Because it's going to be the cost to show him money if he does not examine these people before he bring them in. And in this case, because I feel like the uncle came out because I feel like she was in some kind of depression even before her being unalive. Keke being unalive. I feel like she was in some type of depression about the show, but I'm not quite sure. I don't know. And I'm quite sure Tisha didn't know. Her mama didn't know. Marceau didn't know. All they knew that she was no longer on the show and was not feeding to every one of Mel's needs. You know, because Mel just kind of like dismissed her, like, no, I can't deal with you because you telling me all this, but you threw a drink on your cousin. Like, she did a lot to her cousin on that show. And all you remember, Mel, is a drink? She spoke things about her cousin marriage which she shouldn't even been speaking on. Now, she could even spoke about her relationship, her and Tisha's relationship, and try to mend that. If everyone wants to be clear about it, like, seriously. Like, this show is so toxic. Like, I watch it, but it's like I can't watch it no more. I can't watch it no more because it's too much. After somebody passing away, like, come on now, why do you think everybody thought that she had passed away of, like, doing herself in or whatever like that? Because it was so clear on the show what she was going through. She didn't even get to tell her story because the main focus was her worried about her cousin's marriage. Did you really care that much? Or were you told to focus on that? Like, I bet the people on earth seems to sit up there and make the wrong decisions when it comes to people not coming to people's funerals and stuff like that. And she probably would have never thought that way. She probably would have wanted her cousin to come because she probably wanted that relationship. She wanted that relationship, and I'm quite sure that Tisha wanted to know why so much towards me and my marriage. Do you? It's like you want. Keke still had her marriage, so I'm very like skeptical. Like, why did she go after her cousin so hard? She was brought in by Mel. So she went so hard about Tisha's marriage and happiness. It's a lot of jealousy in between there. Especially when Mel had to endure so much on it. But you were the one, Mel, that brought your marriage onto that platform. You knew what was going on. But yet you wanted to put it off on other people. Like, Tisha is like one of those southern people that with marriage, I'm going to stick it out, ride out with my husband until I see no other way to do it. But Mel had her moment to do all those type of things. But then, she want to look at Tisha and be like, well, you crazy. I would be go looking here, here, and here and see who the next waitress or whatever that he's trying to get into. Like, I ain't finna go look for nobody. Because at the end of the day, Tisha know I'm taking it all if he messes up on me. It's no ifs and buts about it. That's why you sit there, you be humble. You don't follow after the next person because they got their divorce, they angry, they upset. You don't follow out that. You let that shit happen the way it's supposed to happen. If my husband's cheating on me, then guess what? It's gonna come out into the open the way it's supposed to come out. But listening to you, a broken hearted person, I can't. Like, show me the receipts. Please. Show me the receipts. Like, seriously. But at the end of the day, it don't matter what you went through with your family. When a loved one has passed away, you want to be there. You want to be there. And it's crazy that her uncle came on. It wasn't the dad's brother. It was the mother's brother. See, like I said, they have two sides. Keke had two sides of the family. So you can't disregard the other side of the family because you mad over here. That was his child too. And he allowed his family to do that, allegedly. So before it came out in a way that they really didn't like, you know, that she had a dad too. She had a mom too. That just shows you how the family dynamic was between the mom and the dad. The mom tried to, she kept it separated. She kept it separated, and that's not cool. So, if anybody could see and look out, like, cause when no family members on her side, if the shit was organized and straight between the dad and the mother, they wouldn't be coming out like this. They won't be coming out talking about who shouldn't come and who should come to the funeral. I ain't gonna even lie to you. If you gonna put me out there like I did your child wrong, he literally said, the uncle literally said it's because of y'all. How? Explain yourself, sir. When you say something like that, explain yourself. Because of a show? You gotta understand, she was on that show too. She was on Love and Marriage Huntsville too, and she did things and they did things. How could you not understand that? Talking out of hurt, but you hurt someone else. And everybody goes to say, when Tisha was talking to Mel, and it was somebody else there with her, but I know she was talking to Mel, Tisha, and Mel kept bringing up the situation on the show. Once again, like, Mel just in the middle, she's sitting up there instigating and starting stuff, and it's like, Tisha was like, it's dead to me. It's just dead to me. You're dead to me when you treat me like that. Like, I don't know if I would have said that. Okay, let's be clear. But I love me some Tisha, but I don't know if I would have said that. But I think because I was not in her shoes, she had got tired, and that's one of the reasons why she said it the way she said it. You don't know what them people had to go through behind the scenes, and knowing the next move of the person that's coming onto the show to talk about her marriage. Like, you could tell that Mel and the people that she brought onto the show was trying to get the darkness off of her that she was going through with her marriage and her divorce and stuff like that, and put it onto someone else. And that's me just watching the show, because I ain't gonna even lie to you. At the beginning, I thought Mel was really, really cool. I thought she was really, really cool, and I liked it, Tisha, and I liked it all of them. But that more so, he kind of gets to me. He kind of gets to me. Even if he may be doing anything, what is that anyone else's place to bring up just to clear up what they're going through? You know what I'm saying? Let Tisha find that out. And when Tisha find that out, then you'll see. It's nothing like a motherfucker finding shit out for themselves instead of you pushing it on them. They ain't hearing you. They know you got this shit going on. You can't talk about nobody in their situation. That's how I feel like Tisha felt like you can't talk about nobody in that situation because all that you done been through. Like, it's just like telling a child, like, don't smoke. But you know, you sitting up there smoking, and they like, how you gonna tell me that if you sitting up there smoking? They don't see it the way that you see it. They don't see it the way that you see it. And it's a lot of things Mel has been doing these past week and call herself exposing people. And it really ain't no exposure. I don't, she was really getting mad for no reason. She really was. She was getting mad for no reason. And the cast wasn't saying anything. Just letting her look like a fool. Why she just explodes. It's crazy. But it's love for Keke. Because it's people out there. Man, it's people out there just like Keke. With the ups and the downs. But I pray that her soul is rest and she see what's going on, because you know it's different on the other side. So for them sitting up there doing that to Tisha, Marceau, and Ms.Wanda, it ain't gonna look too good. Like, remember, it comes back. Karma is real. Karma is real. And it comes back if you're sitting up here talking about they're not supposed to be there and you don't want to hear, nobody from that show there. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy because people have made a bond with Keke and really liked it, Keke. Whether she told lies or the truth or whatever she may have told. They really liked it, her. You take that away. And y'all leave out the dad on Miss Wanda's side like he ain't even important. Like, he was her dad, but he ain't got no say-so in this fight. That's not cool. That showed what type of people that he had to deal with, the family had to deal with, and the reason why Keke was like she was on the show. Let's be clear. Like I said, don't have nothing against Keke. Wanted better for Keke, but I did not understand why she was coming at her cousin like that. Because you damn sure can tell that they're cousins. Beautiful black women. Beautiful black women. But what I also can't stand is that it's got a whole lot of content creators against each other when y'all ain't the problem. Y'all was doing y'all job. Y'all was doing y'all commentary. Y'all didn't think nobody would pass away. You know what I'm saying? You got some of them talking about they were her friend. They was talking to her all the time. Like, okay. Keke didn't know when your day was, and you didn't know when Keke's days was. Okay? So we have to be mindful of why they're on this earth. If you're going to feel that way now while she's gone, well, you got to be mindful of when they're here and how to treat people. But I just feel like a lot of people just was trying to get her information up out of her. I don't know if people are real friends to her. To Keke like they say they were. You know what I'm saying? Because some people probably wanted to get the story out there first. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, this is somebody's life. You know what I'm saying? This family being torn apart. Like I said, Ms.Wanda and Keke's dad had just lost a sister. So they're still grieving off that from weeks ago. And now you turn around, it's Keke. Like, who would expect that? Nobody. We don't expect it to happen. We don't expect it. So why is everybody so upset? You grieve that person. You're gonna do that. You're gonna hurt. It does hurt. But I feel like the only time you really truly hurt, let's be clear, let's be honest, is when you knew that person was supposed to change their life. You don't have a clue where that person may go, whether it's to heaven or hell. Yeah, you learned and you talked to this person on earth, but one thing about it, if she is the joy spirit like you say she is in your eyes, then you know it's a smile that's supposed to be on your face. Tears of joy is coming down your eyes. Because that person no longer has to suffer. It's crazy. You celebrate. You celebrate that they're going to a better place. Like I said, I don't know if y'all even know about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Keke Jabbar has passed away. She passed away on the 2nd of July. And I heard recently that Tisha, Marceau, and Ms.Wanda was not invited to the funeral, which I really truly doubt, because I think they gonna be in and went to that funeral because like she has two sides to her family. She has her mom's side and she has her dad's side. So like unless they really keeping dad irrelevant or whatever, how do you stop a dad from having his family there? Opposed to the mama having everybody there that she wants. That's not cool. And somewhere where the husband should have stepped in and said, look, y'all is not finna do it this way. So I'm kind of sketchy about that too. Because when he found her in the car, what was up with that? Okay, where was the kids? Where was, she came in at 4, so they say. And then he came out at 7 and he seen her out there in the car. So you didn't hear the car pull up. So you didn't, you know how husbands are, or men are, real men. They come out, they check your car and make sure your car is straight. Did she not have those kids in that car? The car broke, what is it? I can't remember what they said it was, but it was something new. It's a silent killer, just like blood pressure. Your blood pressure is a silent killer in the car. Corporal, oh my God, it's the tip of my tongue. Saying that she passed away from. So she was known to go to sleep on and off anywhere or whatever. But she was found in her car slumped over. And he came out there. I'm like, so he ain't check her car and make sure it wasn't there wrong or anything like that. Because I be looking at the first 48. I be looking at 48 hours and stuff like that. Like, come on now. Like, they need to do a further investigation on this because, I don't know. It just don't sit right with me. What happened to her just don't sit right with me. And plus, they were saying that, she, went to rest peacefully at her home. And I'm like, at her home or in her home? Like, I was really confused about the whole doggone thing. But, uh, if you look into it, anybody looks into it, just you'll feel sketchy about it. And real people with real hearts understand like why you wouldn't let the family members, from the other side allegedly go to the funeral. That's crazy. Like, me personally, I don't think she would have liked that. I don't think she would have liked that. I mean, because once you cross over, it don't be like that. It don't be like that. But they remember, they will reap what they sow. They will reap what they sow. Yeah, I mean, out of anger, you don't do things out of anger. You don't do that. But at the same time, you know, that's their family, their situation. But I feel like um the show did know exactly what Keke was going through, so they should have took heed from that and not have brought her onto the show like Mel wanted her to come onto the show, because Mel had some conniving type of spirit on her, where she thought that she was gonna get back at Tisha somehow, but all that type of stuff backfired. You know, if Tisha wants to leave her husband, she's gonna leave her husband. It's nothing that could be stopped about that. Mel knew her stuff was going on for a long time, and she took a minute to leave her husband. So you cannot sit. Don't. Mel is so controlling, and she got their way along the way of this situation with her ex-husband Martell. She got that way along that situation. But the more and more I started seeing who Mel truly was, because like I said at the beginning, I liked her. I did. I love the way that she carried herself. She was about her business. Now, don't get me wrong, Mel still be about her business, but long as you continue on doing evil, it's not gonna last long. You trying to set someone up to be in a position that you have been in, that's not cool. You let things flow. You be humble. Even if you know the worst of the worst about other people's business, you move humbly. I mean, it's just sad the way this show has turned out. Seriously, it's sad. It's so toxic. I can see Keke being in depression, especially how Mel did her the last time she spoke to her, the last time she was on this show. That was crazy. Like, she did all that work for you to, at the end of the day, tell her this, that, and the other. That wasn't cool. You saying you can't trust her, but she couldn't trust you, to be honest. Keke couldn't trust Mel, to be honest. Because I don't know what was going on with Keke, but something was going on with Keke for her not to realize that she was trying to pan you against your cousin. She was trying, and y'all blaming Tisha, Marceau, and Ms.Wanda, when all they were doing was sticking up for themselves. Did nobody want to take it out with Keke? Like, seriously though, I don't see them wanting to be able to take it there with Keke. But I feel like she was being pushed. I do. I feel like Keke was being pushed, which was part of her depression. And once they used Keke, they let her go. I don't get it. She was a beautiful person. Just like anybody. I mean, I know people love to be like, they had this good soul, they was so nice, but everybody was not that way. They were set in their ways. And I'm just being honest. Not everybody was a nice person. Not everybody was a good person. But now they got to learn that on the other side so they can reach the gates of heaven and go to the light. I'm just being honest. Like, I like the show too. I ain't picking no sides. I just know who I like, and if they mess up, I'm telling them too. Shoot. If they start acting like male along the way, I'm going to tell them too, because I just feel like it ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Just period. But it is what it is. At this point, I think Tisha was just sticking up for themselves. And they didn't expect nothing like this to happen, but everybody's sitting around here like, she shouldn't have said this to her cousin. Well, a lot of things her cousin shouldn't have said to her. Like, this go two ways, whether unalive or on this earth. I'm not finna sit up here and feel guilty when I know the situation for real. As a person, that was Tisha's cousin. That wasn't nobody else's cousin but Tisha's. That wasn't nobody else's niece but Ms.Wanda. That wasn't nobody else's daughter but Keke's dad and her mother. Okay? And she only had a husband. And we don't know what the hell he was doing. We don't know. That's why I say they need to do a full investigation. Because you better wake up. These people be around here setting these women up and setting these men up for life insurance. So, I'm saying allegedly. But content creators don't need to sit up here, be bickering back and forth. Or else, what are you a content creator for? Because you're going to be talking about numerous people in your life. You keeping that name alive. Don't you know in these industries and on these talk shows, when they be unalive, they talk about them even more. But content creators don't need to be up against each other because of this. That's crazy. Wake up. If you're against each other and someone has passed away and you really feel heartfelt grief, then stop doing what you're doing. Because I know that's a touchy subject what Keke and Tisha went through. That's why I never said anything about it. It's a touchy subject. That's family. You have way bigger idiots in this world and on this internet talking about they bull crap. But that's really some family crap, because a lot of family go through that, man. A lot of family. Everyone has someone that is addicted to something in their family. And all I feel like Tisha was trying to do is warn her cousin not to come on the show. It was going to mess with her mental health. She didn't listen. You know, it just kind of shows how much of a motive they had to come after her and her husband. They didn't care what they did. They used Keke. They used her. But the family is mad at the family. Tisha and Marcel don't own no show. Ms.Wanda don't own no show. So how do you put the blame on them? And that's all I got to say. I'm out. I really have so much to say about that. But, I've said enough. And once again, Rest in peace to Keke Jabbar from Love and Marriage Huntsville. Losing a family member is always devastating. And she was a beautiful person. And she was a beautiful sight to see. Okay? So let's keep that family, whether they went or not. They went to the funeral or not. Let's keep them in our prayers. I'm quite sure we're going to hear about it soon. But I just want the content creators to stop going back and forth because it's not your battle. It's not your battle. Just sit back and just don't say nothing about it. Go on with your content. If that, I know it's some people that has to put out certain content, and I don't blame them because they're trying to prove, like, what? You ain't finna have my name in the mud and I don't clear it up. I get it. I get it. But for those that call themselves really caring about Keke and loving Keke, that was my friend. I talked to her every day. Calm down. Just, you know what I'm saying? For those that are on male side or whatever, it ain't no side right now. Because you got to remember, male really don't come before family. You know what I'm saying? And that's in my eyes. But obviously, from the family's eyes, it's like, if you have anything to do with the show, it's crazy. It's just crazy because at the end of the day, nobody wanted her to pass away. You know what I'm saying? You don't want nobody to pass away. You been just talking about this joker the other day and now they gone. What? I just said something about that person the other day. Now they gone. I just thought about that person the other day. Now they gone. Yeah, that's how I go. That's how I go. See, if you have a good heart, period, you ain't got no worry. But, those who grieve for a person always wonders where that person that is unalive goes at the end of the day. Just remember, before I leave off here, just remember, I feel like you only cry because you wish they would have changed their life before they left here. You pray that they ask God for forgiveness before they left here. If you don't cry, it's a celebration. You know you did right by that person. And you think that person was right here on earth. So now you can let them fly like the bird that they are. I'm out. Guys, this is a sad situation. Keke Jabbar from Love and Hip Hop. She has passed away, has been all on the internet. She passed away June 2nd. Not too long ago. But once again, as a black community, we have some discrepancies in that. But it's going to be okay. God has the last say, right? I'll holler at you guys. Holler at you later. Peace.